The BodyArmor Pro Series has been gone for a month, and it's back at a very similar racetrack to where we were a month ago. Our last race was at the Milwaukee Mile. We saw Andrew Miller get that one late in the going. He starts on the pole here today at another mile-long racetrack. This is the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. No Wawa Cup Series event here this year, but we got ourselves a nice little weekend here in New England. Today it's the New Hampshire 80k. Tomorrow the Truck Series is here. We got ourselves 40 cars on the track for this one. A combination race for the BodyArmor Pro Series and BodyArmor LYTE Series East. The New Hampshire 80k, it's the 16th race of the season in the 2025 BodyArmor Pro Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here and welcome to the New Hampshire Motor Speedway here for the 16th race of the season in the BodyArmor Pro Series and the 14th race of the season in the BodyArmor LYTE Series East. And that is where things are interesting because we could very well clinch a champion here today in the BodyArmor LYTE Series East. Aaron Abel with an 11-point lead ahead of Alexander Rowe in this title fight. And he does start ahead of Alexander Rowe in this 50-lap event around the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. No pit stops in this race here today, so it is a fight to the finish for these 50 laps, much like the Wisconsin 80k that we had about a month ago, which saw Andrew Miller go to victory lane in that Pro Series event. Going to be a very fascinating race here today, and excited for tomorrow's race as well in the Truck Series. The Rays Dies and Tubing 200 over there in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. This is a pretty good track in this game. We've seen a lot of interesting Wawa Cup Series races here before. Today we got ourselves the BodyArmor Pro Series, and we're excited to get another race going here in the Pro Series. Still 10 races left to go for these guys until we crown a champion. Really going to ramp it up once we get to November and December. And excited to see how this championship goes for these guys. Because even though Blaine Keys, as you see, has a 71-point lead, the way the point system works in the Pro Series can very well favor anyone at any moment if especially you go to victory lane a lot. And Andrew Miller has gone to victory lane twice this season. Both of his wins have come on essentially mile-long flat tracks, and here we are again. He starts on the pole. He's in a good position to get win number 3 on the season. Stuart Gratton is 71 points behind Blaine Keys. Of course, Blaine Keys had a great finish at Milwaukee a month ago, and of course, he got those first 3 wins in the season. That's the last time he won was at Daytona back in February, at least in this series. But he starts in the 7th position. Stuart Gratton starts up front as well, 71 points behind. Kentucky winner Ludovic Shred is only 85 points behind. I say only, that's still over 3 race victories worth of points. So these guys still have a shot, of course, especially with 10 races left to go in the season. But Blaine Keys, if he keeps on getting these top 5 finishes, no one's going to catch up to him in this Pro Series Championship, and it's looking pretty good for the driver of the number 14. Over in the East Series, and you see right there, Aaron Abel, of course, the points leader by 11 points ahead of Alexander Rowe. Of course, it's going to be 10 points to whoever's highest there for those East Series drivers. Unless an East Series driver happens to win this race, they will get the 12 points if they go to victory lane. But the maximum amount that you can have going into this finale race, which will be a couple weeks from now from Toledo for the East Series, is 13. And should I say it's actually 12, because you can tie at 12. So if Alexander Rowe leaves this race 13 points or further behind Aaron Abel will win the BodyArmor LYTE Series Championship. Ryosi Fujimoto still has a Ryosi Fujimoto really doesn't have a chance. They would have to win this race, win next weekend for Aaron Abel to not get any points. So it's really between Aaron Abel and Alexander Rowe. I'm doing this on the fly. I'm in my hiatus period right now and still calling races. Kind of weird. But it's been a good break. It's been a good break, guys. It's nice not having to do all this stuff every week. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But it's been nice taking a little break for a little while. But that's how it goes in the East Series. And we're excited to see a champion possibly be crowned here on this Friday afternoon in Loudon, New Hampshire. Of course, we're not going to crown the champion in the Pro Series, but it kind of feels like it's effectively crowned with Blaine Keys. We'll see how the race goes up front with Andrew Miller and Isaac Nichols on the front row. Ludovic Charette and Thomas Troxel make up row number 2. We got Justin Zeidel and Stuart Gratton in row number 3. Blaine Keys, Leonard Kochmer in row number 4. Roland Orrin and Matt Tuck in row number 5. And then in the East Series, the pole sitter for the East Series guys is Andrew Williams in the 99. Campbell Marsh alongside him, BB Ruiz, and there's Aaron Abel starting in the 4th position. And you're going to see back in there Alex Rowe starting effectively in this race, all the way 14th for the E-Series drivers, 38th in the entire grid. And once again, a struggle for Alex Rowe in the combination race, and that has been his struggle. All 5 of his wins have come in the standalone races for the E-Series. And of course, the last race for the E-Series is a standalone event at Toledo. But if he is 13 points or more behind Aaron Abel going into that race next week, that's essentially going to be 2 weeks from now, especially. Excuse me, 2 weeks from now. I don't care. I don't care anymore. We're kind of beyond the main series at this point, and I'm just kind of winging it at this point. I recorded this 2 days ago. I mean, I just don't care right now. But I care, you know, but I don't care in the same way. But, you know, some people are going to care about this, especially Andrew Miller. And to lead us off to the green flag here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And you see the rest of the starting lineup there on the side of your screen. And I have a good feeling about Andrew Miller in this race. And normally, when I have a co-commentator, I let them pick who they think is going to win. I think Andrew Miller's going to win this race in the 78 machine. Definitely a driver to watch out for on these flat mile-long racetracks. The last flat mile-long racetrack we've got this season for this series. Andrew Miller going to be in a good position to get his 3rd win of the season and still have a shot at the championship. He's 96 points behind. But if Blaine Keys knocks out, and especially considering we got a lot of super speedways coming up, we got Talladega twice with Doubledega, we got St. Jolta still coming up on the schedule as well. It's getting a little dicey for Blaine Keys if he's not careful at some of these upcoming races. Of course, our next event for the Pro Series after this one here today will be Doubledega in the middle of October, so another month-long break for these guys. And hey, just bear with me, everyone. I'm kind of taking it easy the past couple of weeks, and the next couple of weeks I'll be taking it easy. Gonna finally switch over to this new computer here soon, where we're looking forward to. And we're looking forward to this race as we're green flag here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway on a Friday afternoon at the end of summer. Well, how about that for Isaac Nichols in the number 88 from the outside pole, taking the race lead on lap number 1. Looking for his 1st win of the season. He's 14th in the points, 137 points behind. Not a good start for Andrew Miller in any such way right there. That outside lane had the inside lane, excuse me, had absolutely no grip. There's a lot more grip on that outside lane, it seems like, through these courses. They're kind of even. Got Justin Seidel battling there with Stuart Grattan for position. A great battle there for the 5th spot. Grattan looks like he's going to get the push there. Rogel Doran in the mix as well, a 2-time winner this season. I hard to believe that Rogel's only won twice this season. It seems like he's been kind of dominant in a lot of these races. No drivers won more than 3 races this season in the Pro Series. And of course, that's Blaine Keys, who's going 3 wide right now. Matthew Hubert to the inside of Leonard Kochmer and Blaine Keys there. And that's going to put Blaine outside the top 10, outside of the points. And that is not good in his attempt to clinch this championship as early as he can. I know still 10 races left to go, and you do not want to lose these points at this point in the season and let these guys catch up on you. Look at this racing. Carson Miller all over Matt Tuck right there off the exit of turn number 2. These guys are just sliding all over the place, and some great stuff here from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway on this Friday afternoon. Ben Nicholas Samadeo there, almost done the apron, going 3 wide on Vinny Scholes and LJ Cimento. Nathan Stapleton in the mix of all this as well. And not too far behind Andrew Williams, not Andrew Miller, who is the highest of the E-Series drivers. And Alex Rowe, I tell you, it's such an amazing thing to see Alex Rowe just struggle in these combination races, considering the dominance that he has had in the standalone events. Of course, he won Thunder Road by nearly 4 seconds, and that is a quarter-mile-long racetrack. And right now, he is just handing this championship over to Alexander Rowe. All Alexander Rowe needs to do is get 2 points, and he clinches the E-Series title here today. And he's got himself, let's see, how many of these guys does he have ahead of him? He may not necessarily quite have it. You got Andrew Williams, BB Ruiz, Corey Case, Fujimoto, Campbell Marsh, Anthony Hernandez, Marzak there. And he may fall outside of the East Series points here if he's not careful. And, you know, that might be the saving grace for Alexander Rowe, because we have a great feeling about him at Toledo. And that 97 is slipping back here in this New Hampshire 80K right now, and may not clinch the championship. We'll see if that ends up being the case later on tonight. For the race lead, Thomas Troxel in the number 10. All over the back bumper of Isaac Nichols for the top position. He's sliding off of turn number 2. And he lost a lot of grip doing that. Ludovic Schreck going to try to work the outside lane for the second position, and she's going to have a good opportunity at doing so here. First, Troxel and Nichols, they're returning to their teams in the Wawa Cup Series next season. And Ludovic Schreck, of course, going to become an owner. Andrew Miller moving over to NS Racing. We're excited to see that. Rogolorn moving over to Ludovic's team. Going to be teammates with Logan Williams at Intersys Motor Racing. That's going to be a lot of fun. And Stuart Grab, this is kind of it for him in terms of his NR career, at least for the time being. Of course, we'll have him in the booth for a lot of races next year. We're excited to have that. Love Stuart, of course. I've known him for, 11 years now. Troxel going to be able to hold off Ludovic Schreck for the time being. But this race is far from over. All 6 of these guys are right on each other. Andrew Miller is one of these 6 guys. I thought he had slipped back. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Carson Miller to the inside of Matt Tuck. That is for the 8th position, and Matthew Hubert holding on to the last point. Blaine Keys is falling all the way back to the 14th position. Not at all where he needs to be in this championship battle. And Isaac Nichols, of course, isn't one who's really that close or up there in the title race. But Ludovic Schreck is one who has a very good shot at this title. And, wouldn't it be something if we got a Blaine Keys-Ludovic Schreck battle for the championship here in the Pro Series rolling out through the rest of this year? I think that'd be a very neat thing to see, considering what they did in the Wawa Cup Series last year. As the caution is out, and Audra Baranowskis is totaled on the front stretch. Christian Vargas, Chris Reynolds caught up, and Aaron Abel's got damage in the 97. And that will absolutely seal it. Well, it won't seal it. It'll seal his chances of clinching the title here today. Alexander Rowe in the 40 machine does not appear to have much damage, but a lot of those E-Series drivers in the back of the field that do appear to have a lot of damage. And our first caution of the day here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, here in the New Hampshire 80K. This is a good racetrack, isn't it, guys? This is a lot of fun here. Man, maybe someday I'll attend a race here. It ain't that far away for me. I should have taken the weekend off and have gone up to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Put a couple of guys up there. Well, let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the day here in the New Hampshire 80K. And then we'll get back to racing here after we review that accident here. The BodyArmor Pro Series here in New England. Well, this was, oh boy. This was certainly a moment here. Alonso getting up into his car, by the way. Christian Vargas off the exit of turn 4, and Audrey Baranowskis had nowhere to go. Chris Reynolds nowhere to go as well. Joshua Neely and Aaron Abel in the 97 behind this. I think he hits Vargas. And Alexander Rowe is also behind this. And he misses it. You see that one gets smashed by Fogelman. And Joshua Neely, I mean, look at what Alexander Rowe avoided right here. He got through that cleanly when Aaron Abel could not. And actually, this is where Abel got his damage when Baranowskis came back. And a hard hit there for Aaron Abel. And that's going to take, I mean, he may still be able to continue with the race. But that's going to take him out of contention. And this is such a good opportunity for Alexander Rowe to close back in on this championship and have a shot at it at Toledo. We'll have to see if that ends up being the case once we get to the end of the race. But a tough break for those guys. Not a good season for Vargas or Baranowskis or Alonso for that matter. And that just was an epitome of how their seasons have gone in their respective series. And this kind of started going in the turn number 3. You see Alonso kind of overshoot the corner, had to check it up, and Vargas was just like, I'm going to try to split those guys. And Alonso just had no clue that Vargas was there, and yeah, that was what caused all that. Tough break for those guys in the back of the field, and especially Aaron Abel, victim of circumstance right there, and Alexander Rowe might keep this championship alive going into Toledo. Meanwhile, up front, Isaac Nichols, still the race leader. See what he does on the restart here in the New Hampshire 80K. We're back here in the Granite State. New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the Magic Mile. And a good race so far, no doubt about it, here in the New Hampshire 80k for the BodyArmor Pro Series. Isaac Nichols has led every lap so far in the number 88 for Intersis Motor Racing, by the way. So that's Ledovic's car, and Ledovic is credited with the owner's win if Nichols goes to victory lane here today. Thomas Troxel second, Ledovic Schritt, Andrew Miller, Rogel Dorn. That is the top 5 in the race. Big thing in the East Series, Aaron Abel's got a lot of damage, and Alex Nero's got a clean race car, and he's actually found his way in the points for the East Series, so it could get very dicey up front. It could get very dicey in terms of the East Series title, because Alex Nero has a chance at closing in and making Toledo a very interesting race for the East Series finale. Thomas Troxel has a very good chance of making this a very interesting race for the race win. Trying to close in there on Isaac Nichols. Neither of these top 2 have gone to victory lane yet this season in the Pro Series. Troxel's got a shot. And watch out for Rogel Dorn, though. This number 4 machine looks to be very quick. To the inside of Andrew Miller there for the 4th position. And Rogel, chip on his shoulder from what happened in the Wall Cup Series this year. He knows he's going to be part of a much better organization in 2026. And his future team owner right ahead of him right there. And Andrew Miller going to slip back a spot. Stuart Gratton looking to move to the inside there for the 5th position. Of course, no pit stops in this race, which means that they're going to have to go the entire race on the set of tires they're on right now. And if you know anything about this racetrack, you'll want to have good tires. So we'll see who is able to save their stuff up compared to others here as we move on throughout this 50-lap event in New Hampshire. And Rogel Dorn all the way up to 3rd now, making that look easy on Ledovic Schritt. Still side by side for the position, going to lose a little bit of time to Thomas Troxel and Isaac Nichols for the time being. Schritt on the outside lane there of Rogel Dorn, trying to get everything she can to keep this 4 machine behind her. But Rogel looks to have a really fast race car here today at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Back in the East Series, and you can tell right there that Alex Nero bit off the pace in the number 97 machine. And Alex Nero, he's getting a couple of points at the moment. Of course, he could still mathematically win the title if he wins Toledo and Aaron Abel does not point if it's an 11-point gap, which, you know, we have a good feeling about Alex Nero taking the victory at Toledo in a couple of weeks. Big question is, will he be close enough in the points to have a shot at Aaron Abel for that championship? And right now, he has an opportunity at gaining a couple points here today and having an opportunity at getting his 2nd championship of the year. And, you know, it's interesting. The Sprint Series title was between Aaron Abel and Alex Nero, and Aaron Abel went in to the Darlington race behind Alex Nero, but ran most of the race ahead of him in the points until the end of that race. Aaron Abel has the advantage this time around in the East Series, and more than likely he's pretty much guaranteed to still have the advantage going into Toledo. But it's going to definitely be an interesting scenario if we got a single-digit point lead and Alex Nero's got a very fast race car at Toledo Speedway. Could very well be a fascinating finale in that Toledo event in a couple of weeks. Excited to see how that goes down. Had the Lenovo Pro Series there a couple of weeks ago. We know how great of a racetrack that is. How about Rogel Dorn to the inside of Thomas Troxel there? That is for the 2nd position. And it seems like no one has been able to make moves quite like Rogel in this race so far. And this 4 machine now up to the 2nd position. We all know how good of a driver Rogel Dorn is. And you pair that up with Ledovic Schritt, who's effectively taking over Grattan Autosport. That's essentially what that team is going to be next year. Rogel Dorn in a Grattan car, oh boy, you better watch out. It's going to be very interesting in 2026 if that ends up being the case. Thomas Troxel up to 3rd, now down the 3rd, I should say. Ledovic Schritt is in 4th. Andrew Miller is 5th. Stuart Grattan, Matt Tuck, Matthew Hubert, and Justin Zeidel. Carson Miller's got the last point. Not a good race for Blaine Keys in the 14, and that'd be 0 points for him the way they currently run. Rogel Dorn is all up to the back bumper of Isaac Nichols for the race lead. Not quite halfway through this New Hampshire 80k, but Rogel Dorn going to get that 88 out of line, and we're going to be side by side for the race lead here on lap 22. Not quite. Nichols going to get the outside lane to his advantage. And a good run there for Isaac Nichols. That's exactly how he kept the race lead at the start of the race from the outside pole. Got that outside lane to work to his advantage. But I tell you what, this number 4 is quick. Very quick. Wicked fast, as they'd say up here in New England. And will he have a shot at getting around Isaac Nichols? Of course, the tire wear a big part of this race, and How fast will the tires wear? How much are some of these guys saving? Ledovic's looking to take third away from Thomas Troxel, and Rogel's got a shot again to the inside of Nichols. But Isaac keeps on rolling that outside and just barely staying ahead of this 4 machine. But that 4 is about as close as you can get without wrecking the 88 at the moment. And unable to get that advantage that time around. Isaac kind of dove it in there into the corner, and you know he wants a race victory in this series. Almost got the win at Hillside. Was battling there with Stuart Grattan in that race. Couldn't quite get it. It's not been a good season for Isaac in the Pro Series, though. It was a good season for him in the Cup Series. He actually had a shot at the championship until the the engine failure, I should say, at Richmond that took him out of that contention over there. Back to the E-Series guys. Though we may actually run into some of these E-Series guys as lappers once we get into the race. And Aaron Abel's not getting anything in that 97 machine. Alex Rowe, on the other hand, is getting somewhere, and I believe Andrew Williams is just far out ahead of the E-Series guys. A great run for Andrew Williams, up to the 17th position overall on the track. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that would be 4 points for Alexander Rowe, the way they currently run. And that would be 4 more points that he gains, and a 7-point gap going into Toledo, which means that he's got a chance at the E-Series title. Rogaldorn has not been able to get around Isaac Nichols, and Isaac will lead the most laps in this race. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. It could be an even split, and it may be an even split, because here comes Rogaldorn. He's got a nose at the inside this time around. Nichols going to try to clear on the outside again. If Nichols leads this lap, he will have the most laps led, but he might not lead this lap. Way down on the flat for Rogaldorn, trying to get this inside lane to his advantage, and they're side by side again. Across the line, I believe Nichols is going to barely lead that lap. No, Rogel's got it. And actually, Rogel had it the last time as well, so Rogel may just get the most laps led in this race. Here we go for second, as Rogaldorn has cleared for the race lead ahead of Isaac Nichols. Ledovic's going to take second away from the 88 machine, and now she's going to try to get up to the back bumper of the 4 machine and have a shot at this race victory. Tough break for Isaac Nichols, cannot hold on to it, down to the 3rd position. Thomas Troxel there in 4th. Andrew Miller still holding on to a great run in 5th, and keep in mind, he came through late in the going at Milwaukee to get that race victory. Very similar setup here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway as it was for that race. Matt Tuck there in 6th, Matthew Hubert, Justin Zidell, Carson Miller, and Leonard Kochmer. The top 10, Blaine, of course, still outside the points, though he is trying to move his way back up through the field. Good run, and we got some 3-wide action here. Campbell Marsh to the inside of Vinny Scholes and BB Ruiz, and Alex in a row. Got around Joshua Neely, and he's gaining some more points around Josh Marzak as well. And Alex in a row, I believe that would be 5th spot for the E-Series. So we got Andrew Williams there leading the E-Series guys. Got Corey Case, Anthony Hernandez, BB Ruiz, Campbell Marsh. So he'd be in the 5-point position. That'd be a 6-point gap going in to the next race at Toledo. But he's still going to get another one here ahead of BB Ruiz, and that would make it a 5-point gap going into Toledo that Alexander would have to overtake to win the championship. Going to be very interesting for that E-Series finale, the way it's currently running. And Ledovic's great job out of this 00, holding on to the 2nd position. They're pulling away from Isaac Nichols. They're closing in on Christian Vargas in the 37. And you're going to have to see how the lap traffic ends up affecting these guys. This is a relatively difficult place to make a pass, though. As we saw, it is very possible to make a pass here. These guys sliding around the corners quite a bit. Rogel's going to catch up to this 37 at an inopportune time. And Ledovic's going to have an opportunity at taking this race lead. Rogel going to get to the inside of Vargas, and that's going to close the 00 right in on the back bumper. If Rogel overshoots right here, Ledovic might have a shot at getting to the inside. Ledovic's going to be side by side with Vargas. That is not a good move. But they both get around the 37 cleanly. Ledovic's going to end up losing some time to the 4 machine in that exchange. Got Nichols and Troxel back there, also looking to make a move on Vargas, and they will in fact do so. And this right here might just be the biggest lead that we've seen out of anybody all race long here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Great run for Rogaldorn in this race. Looking at his 3rd win of the season, tie Blaine Keys for the most wins on the year, and close up the Blaine Keys rather significantly in the championship because Blaine's still outside of the points right now. Though he may find his way back in. How about Nathan Stapleton up inside the top 10? Good run for him now. He's been moving his way through the field very nicely after a poor start. And a lot of credit where credit is due for Andrew Williams. It won't be an official win, but highest East Series driver here. And I remember at the beginning of the season I said, oh, Andrew Williams, he's the championship favorite. And then he like wrecked out the first 5 races of the East Series, and you know, the rest is history from there. Alexander Rowe actually got passed by BB Ruiz, so he's still in the 5-point position. That'd be a 6-point gap the way they currently run. The thing is, there's no way Aaron Abel's really going to clinch unless a bunch of these E-Series guys wreck out in this race. That's such a tough break there for Aaron Abel. Had a great opportunity at clinching the title here today. Not going to end up doing it. Battle for third. Thomas Troxel to the inside of Isaac Nichols. Next time by, we're going to be 15 laps to go here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Had a great race so far. It's been quite entertaining and makes me look forward to seeing what Caleb cooked up for the Truck Series tomorrow, noon Eastern time, right here. The Raised Dies and Tubing 200. You may wonder, what is Raised Dies and Tubing? Well, I kind of don't know. But if you've been around the channel long enough, you know the name Cameron Godju gave us that name for the Indianapolis race way back in the day. Of course, the business itself is in this area, roughly speaking, in the New England area. And moved over to New Hampshire, kept it going. We just kept the tradition going, having a race sponsored by Raised Dies and Tubing every year on the channel. It's a little nod to Cameron Godju, one of the OGs of the channel way back in the day. I believe he signed up for races back in 2014 as well in the DR34 DG38 days. So we always appreciate those guys who've been around for many, many years, for a decade. Troxel's one of those guys, and here he is running in the 3rd position, trying to close in, have a shot at his first win of the season here in the Pro Series, but maybe a bit too far behind. Hey, Matt Tuck's been around for a decade as well, by the way, which I kind of find hard to believe. He was actually in the 2015 Thanksgiving 500. That was his first ever start, and his quote-unquote protege, Daniel Paulus Jr., made his first start in the Thanksgiving 500 in 2022. And those guys work together very well over there in the Walla Walla Cup Series. Matthew Hubert there is 7th. Great run for Hubert here tonight. Justice Idell is 8th. Nathan Stapleton, and how about Lauren Martinez inside the top 10, looking to get some points as Blaine lost a lot of ground. Andrew Williams is ahead of Blaine Keys right now. Pretty wild thing to see right there. We're still trying to get around Christian Vargas. Looks like these E-Series drivers have kind of solidified in their respective positions. Alexander Rowe there in that 40 machine, still the 6th place driver for the E-Series. And looking to have a 6-point gap. Would it be 6 points? A 5-point gap? No. Yeah, 6-point gap. I'm getting confused. He's going to gain 5 points. It's going to be a 6-point gap. That's how it is. Well, unless we get a caution, the race winner is going to be one of these 2 drivers, Rogaldorn and Ludovic Schred. And Ludovic has kept up with this 4 machine. Very impressive run for Ludovic, who's trying to have an opportunity at this title as well. She's 85 points behind. Rogaldorn is 89 points behind. Both of them looking to add 25 points in a race where Blaine Keys is not going to get any points by the looks of it. So a big opportunity for both of these drivers in a late season attempt to win this title. Because if you take out Blaine's first 3 wins of the season, he would still be 2nd in the points. So that's how wild of a season it has been for Blaine Keys, how good of a season it has been for Blaine Keys. And we thought Blaine was just going to go off this season and win like every single race, but he has not won since February at Daytona. But he has had a lot of good runs, 11 top 5s this season, but it's not going to happen today by the looks of it, behind an E-Series driver in this New Hampshire 80k. Definitely not the position Blaine was hoping to be in at this point in the race. And like I said, he's got to be careful. He can afford a couple of races like this, but he can't keep doing it. And with those super speedways coming up, you absolutely want to make sure you have a big gap going into those races, because those are completely unpredictable events, and we got 3 of them coming up on the schedule. I don't believe I ever shared truly the updated schedule for this series. We got Talladega, Doubledega coming up next. That's going to be about a month from now. I'm going to pull it up right here so you guys have an idea of what's all going on. So many tabs in this spreadsheet. We got Double Dega coming up. That's going to be October 17th and October 16th and October 17th. Zen Joltis a couple weeks after that, another Super Speedway. Also got Coca-Cola still left on the schedule as well, so 4 Super Speedways are left. But Zen Joltis, Friday, November 7th. We're going to finally go to Rockingham, UK. Rockingham Motor Speedway, Saturday, November 15th. The Atlanta Motor Speedway, Friday, November 21st. Coca-Cola Super Speedway, Thanksgiving Eve, the eve before the Thanksgiving 500 for the Coca-Cola 100K. Martinsville, we're going to go to Martinsville Short Track on December 4th. We're going to go to the Bend Down Under on December 12th, and the finale at Homestead on Monday, December 22nd. So 4 of the next 10 races are Super Speedway. So if you're playing keys, you got to make sure you get through those all right, because the next 3 races are all Super Speedways. Zen Joltis especially a massive wild card event. So it's gonna get dicey once we get into November for these guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun because we're gonna have a race essentially every week starting in November, rolling to the end of the season. Really gonna get going with this Pro Series at the end of the season. A season that we started in mid-January, and we're only 16 races in after today. Well, this race is not over yet. 5 laps to go here in the New Hampshire 80k for Rogel Dorn in the 4. Ludovic Schret is still there, but she hasn't really been able to close up close enough to have an opportunity. And it's one thing to catch them, another thing to pass them here in New Hampshire. Well, you got to catch them first to pass them, and Ludovic has not been able to do that. We'll see if Aaron Abel gets in the way of this. Will not get any points in the East Series here today. Alloys and Rose got to be careful not to let Ryoshi Fujimoto bow around them, because that's going to be another point if that ends up happening. And if you're Alex in a row, you want to get as many points as you can going into that finale a couple weeks from now at Toledo. It'll be very interesting to see if that ends up being the case for Alex in a row. A 6-point gap the way they currently run. Could be 7 if Fujimoto gets around Alex in a row in this race. And these guys are essentially even at this point. Rogel Dorn just holding on. Half-second lead ahead of Ludovic Schret. But it's not over yet. Ludovic's just able to close right in. Troxel's pulled away from Nichols, and Andrew Miller looking to get around the 88 machine for that position. Hasn't really been able to get there quite yet. And it's under 4/10 of a second right now. 2.5 laps to go. And you would assume that the tire wear is about the same for both of these drivers, and that's really the big difference at this point. But Ludovic seems to be really closing in through some of these corners, diamonding the corner a little bit differently than Rogel, just slightly differently going through these corners, but only 2 laps left to go in this race. And another little gain right there, but still not enough. Aaron Abel could very well decide this one, though. That 97 could get in the way of Rogel Dorn, and that could be the opportunity for Ludovic Schret to have a shot at this race victory. Rogel's going to try to get around Aaron Abel right here. Rogel's got to be careful. Oh, boy, he had to check up quite a bit right there and could not get around the 97. And Ludovic Schret going to try to close in. Rogel got back to the inside of the 97, though, pulling away. White flag in the air here in New Hampshire. And that was really the opportunity. Going to be Vargas again, though, so it might be another lap car getting in the way of our race leaders at the end of this race. Ludovic, a little bit of a struggle getting around Aaron Abel. Rogel Dorn closing in significantly on this 37 of Christian Vargas. But Vargas may be far enough ahead where it's not going to be an issue, and it looks like that's going to be the case. And it's going to be the 3rd win of the season for Rogel Dorn, who's going to get it here in the New Hampshire 80k in the BodyArmor Pro Series. Ludovic Schret, Isaac Nichols, Thomas Troxel, then Isaac Nichols, Andrew Miller, Matt Tuck, Matthew Hubert, Justin Zidell, Nathan Stapleton, and Lauren Martinez, top 10, all receiving points here today. Andrew Williams gets 10 points for the East Series. Corey Case will get 9. Anthony Hernandez will get 8. Campbell Marsh will get 7. BB Ruiz will get 6. Alex in a row will get 5 points, and that means it's going to be a 6-point gap going into Toledo on October 2nd, I do believe. Either October 1st or October 2nd. October 2nd, when we have the finale for the East Series. Ryoshi Fujimoto will get 4 points. Joshua Neely getting 3 points. Josh Marzak getting 2 points. I believe Chris Reynolds going to get the last point in the East Series. And first race at Double Dega. Starting lineup is going to be almost the way they finish. You got Rogaldorn and Ludovic Charette, who's going to have the front row. Stuart Gretton and Matthew Hubert, Thomas Troxel, Isaac Nichols, Nathan Stapleton, Matt Tuck, Nicholas Amadio, and Carson Miller. Of course, that's Talladega, and that's only the first of 2 Talladega races as well, so that'll get a little wild. Take a look at the rest of the results right there for the fastest laps, and that is how they'll line up, at least for the Pro Series drivers, over at Talladega. The starting lineup for the LYTE Series race at Toledo, of course, done in-game qualifying a rating that those guys, in fact, do. It's a fun little race here in New Hampshire, no doubt about it. Only had 1 lead change, but Rogaldorn, definitely a strong driver in this series. Going to have a shot at this title and gained a lot of points on Blaine Keys. And with 9 races now left to go, I should say. It's 10 races including this one. And 4 of those, almost half of these upcoming races being super speedways. There's an opportunity for Rogaldorn and Ludovic Charette to actually go out there and beat Blaine Keys in this title. It is not over yet, ironically enough. And we're just going to have to see if they close in. But the East Series got interesting as well. Going to be a 6-point gap going in to our next race at Toledo. Alexander Rowe, he did what he had to do. Avoided the accident, and Aaron Abel ended up not getting anything in this race. And because of that, Alexander Rowe is going to have an opportunity at winning this title ahead of Aaron Abel at Toledo. So tune in, not this coming Thursday, but 2 weeks from now, Thursday night, October 2nd, for the finale of the BodyArmor LYTE Series East. The LYTE Series isn't coming back next year, so going to be a special thing. They'll win the title, and one of those 2 guys is going to do it, coming here in just 13 days. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know I was by myself for this one. Just couldn't get anyone in time. I kind of put this off to the last minute because I didn't feel like doing it, but you know what? It was a fun race. It's good to keep the old vocal cords going with these NR races. You know, my voice is a little hoarse right now because I just had to do the whole thing by myself. But it was a lot of fun. Rogaldorn gets it here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway ahead of Ludovic Charette to win the 16th race of the season, his 3rd win of the season here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Here are the point standings for the BodyArmor Pro Series and the BodyArmor LYTE Series East. Only 1 race left to go for the East Series guys. Will it be Alexander Rowe catching up to Aaron Abel? Or will Aaron Abel hold on enough at Toledo? That's going to be a wild race there. We know how crazy that place can get. It's going to be a lot of fun in a couple of weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Next Pro Series race going to be October 16th for Double-Dega race number 1. GRT Double-Dega race 1, by the way. I'm sorry. I know y'all hate to see it, but we love our boy Stuart. So, he gets to sponsor that race again this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Rogaldorn, and I will see you guys later.